Hi, my name is Prentice Powell, and I'm an addict.
Have you ever heard of the Baader-Meinhof phenomenon? You might be wondering, what does that have to do with the poem? I'm gonna get to the reaction, hold on, just trust me. The Baader-Meinhof phenomenon is what happens when you are introduced to something for the first time and then you suddenly start seeing it everywhere, right? Like, let's say your friend gets a Dodge Challenger for the very first time and you're seeing it, you're driving in it with them and you're like, whoa, this car's amazing, right? And then all of a sudden you start seeing that a whole bunch of people on the road have a Dodge Challenger. It's not that people suddenly started buying Dodge Challengers, you just started to notice it, right? Your brain got trained to pick it out amongst a bunch of cars, but the cars were always there. That's how I feel about Prentice Powell. Prentice Powell is the Dodge Challenger I'm talking about. In fact, he's a red-eye Hellcat. He's a Dodge red-eye Hellcat, if I'm being honest. He's a level above. I was talking to Red Lion, and he brought up Prentice Powell in conversation. And if you don't know Red Lion, he's a poet I've reacted to a whole bunch of times. I've performed alongside him on a couple of occasions. Incredible poet. He told me about Prentice Powell and was like, bro, how have you not heard of this guy? I'm like, I don't know, I just haven't heard of him. He showed me one poem of his. And after that, now I can't stop seeing him on social media. Everywhere I'm seeing like a post here, a repost there. Like it's just crazy. So it's about time I give this man some love. I've heard he's crazy good and I know he's not going to disappoint. So let's get started.
I haven't slammed in 12 years.
Wow.
Thank you.
Welcome back.
Some ask why today. You know, they say that if God gives you a gift and you don't use it, he'll take it away. And you don't need to sit me around a circle of people with the same problem for me to admit that I have an addiction and I abuse it every chance I get. See, I now realize God gave me a gift, so I no longer fight this shit. And I can't recall how many times I've called in sick just so I could write this uninterrupted with no distractions, no corruption, just me and my thoughts dancing with each other's hearts until our wrists give way to my lips taking over. And then what comes out is like beautiful medicine. Music to your eardrums. This ink is intoxicating. I never wanted to be sober. Prentice Powell was an addict. Tell a friend.
Okay, I'll stop him there. The way he's delivering these bars is so... like, it doesn't even feel like he's performing. It feels like he's excited to share his journey of being a poet and just loving the craft, right? And man, every artist can relate to this. It really does almost feel like an addiction. It low-key does. There's times where I'm not getting sleep at night because I'm up, just writing the bars that are coming to my head. I have to write these lines. I have to, because I don't want to forget them. If I go to sleep and wake up, I might lose them, right? Bruh, it really be like that. And he's not holding back with the addiction metaphor either. He started off the poem with an image of Alcoholics Anonymous, right? People seated in a circle talking about their experience with their addiction. That's Alcoholics Anonymous right there, bro. Like, come on. Okay, let's keep going.
Music to your eardrums. This ink is intoxicating. I never wanted to be sober. Prentice Powell was an addict. Tell a friend. Tell a friend I have something valid to say in a time when broken down the dopest lines disintegrate to nonsense, in a time where a man who puts his heart into his art gets overlooked because his work contains content, so call me a junkie. Call me contaminated when the words on the radio have 12-year-olds seeking affection, walking around brain dead, thinking with their erections, living with no fear. We got rappers telling my peers how to live. Stay strapped. Pack-a-Gats is a man with 13 kids who still hasn't realized he's in the streets using the wrong kind of protection. So I'm...
Oh, whoa! Ah!
Whoa, calm down, Jamal. Don't pull out the 9. It's just a joke. Come on. Don't shoot. Don't shoot.
Yo, okay. I don't know if y'all caught that. He went from talking about how the craft is like an addiction to talking about how young kids are being told how to become men from like the music that's playing on the radio. So now they're getting hooked to the wrong kind of stuff. They're listening to people who would rather have protection to stay safe on the streets, but not protection in terms of like where they spread their seed. You feel me? Like they're using the metal kind of protection, not the rubber kind of protection. You feel me, bro? Oh no, that was cold. And even the idea of staying strapped, like he mentioned earlier, coincides with both kinds of protection. If you're staying strapped with a gun, then that's the metal kind of protection. If you're staying strapped with rubber, that's the contraceptive kind of protection. You feel me? All right, let's keep going.
We got rappers telling my peers how to live. Stay strapped. Pack of Gats is a man with 13 kids who still hasn't realized he's in the streets using the wrong kind of protection. So I'm constantly trying to find ways of connecting to people who live lives so backwards you would think they were dyslexic. So in case any of you are in here, allow me to break it down to you. That understand, please, hurt and love of space A from right right from a space of love and hurt. Please understand that from learn to person one, at least have they, so sons my four right right for my sons so they have at least one person to learn from. Now we get you, do you get it now?
All right. Watch me.
Okay.
All right.
I got it.
Oh, yeah.
I got it.
Hey, wrap the stream up.
All right, y'all be easy.
Wrap it up.
Y'all be safe.
Wrap it up.
I'll
Holy smokes.
I'm out of here.
Who is this guy, bro?
We're living blind with our right eye open and left closed, exposed to videos, hoes, and balling. And I ain't gonna lie, I tried to kick this slam, but if you ever picked up a pen and put it to paper, you know that ink, man, that ink, it just keeps on calling. You know, a lot of people want to call me a good father and want insight into my personal life, but I tell them don't look, because if they did, I'm scared they see how many times I've neglected my kids for my notebook. I'm constantly on Twitter checking to see if my poetry gets a mention. I hate staying in hotels when I travel because I'm scared of walking into an intervention. Shit. I'm high right now.
Wow, those of you who are poets and are parents, let me know. Is that something you can relate to? I don't have any kids. You know what I'm saying? I do have family though, and I will say sometimes my poetry and my grind in poetry can get in the way of my familial responsibilities and even time with my fam. And that does kind of suck. Legit. And then even like me paying attention to whether my posts are getting likes or views and stuff like that, that's all part of the addiction. It's feeding the dopamine cycle in my brain, right? That's real. And so him bringing up how it's affecting him as a father, it's making me want to be more mindful of managing my passion for poetry so that I don't replicate that problem when I become a father, right? Yeah, so Prentice, thank you.
How many times I've neglected my kids for my notebook. I'm constantly on Twitter checking to see if my poetry gets a mention. I hate staying in hotels when I travel because I'm scared of walking into an intervention. I'm high right now. You know, sometimes I swear I caught what Gil Scott got. Sometimes I feel like a shell of my former surfer, turkey without the stuff. And last night I threw on some mid-60s soul music and found myself itching for my pen again. Now I'm on my David Ruffin. This temptation is so strong. It got people telling me to hold on, but how can I do so when the most therapeutic thing to do in my life is to write and simply let go? Amy Winehouse, gone. Kurt Cobain, gone. Whitney, gone. Either by pen or syringe. Being on stage is like flying high on a 5-day coke binge. This is my life. This ain't for everybody. You gotta have strong veins because this poetry can cut deep.
Dang!
Hi, my name is Prentice Powell, and I'm an addict.
And I'm an addict! Bro, what? What? Some of y'all didn't catch those references, right? Gil Scott, he was talking, what's that guy's name from The Temptations? Bro, I can't even remember, but like, he was going crazy. Amy Winehouse, like all of these people, a lot of the names he dropped fell victim in some kind of way to something, right? And he's saying my addiction, while theirs might have been something else, mine here is poetry. I'll keep it a stack, it's poetry. Hey man, that's legit. Everything should be managed in moderation. Everything. That includes poetry. That includes a passion of yours. It should be handled in moderation. There's certain things you can have too much of. And so let this be a reminder to y'all. But this was cold. Y'all, even the way he was choreographing the poem. And I think a lot of poets take that aspect of the performance for granted. What are you doing with your hands? What are you doing with your face? What are you doing with your voice exactly? There'd be certain times where it almost sounded like he was starving. You could hear that he was starved in his voice. You could hear the hunger, right? He's out here scratching himself like he's fiending for another fix. You feel me, bro? Like that's some real good choreography. And like, I feel like the art of choreography is being somewhat lost, not so much in the slam poetry realm. I would say in slam poetry, it's as good as it's ever been. Choreography, I mean outside of it, because a lot of the scoring is changed drastically depending on whether your choreography is good or not. I've been in a few slams myself, and I've seen major differences between two poems that are similar in quality, but one person manipulates their body and voice better than the other person, right? And so even though the two poems are similarly written, one gets scored significantly higher than the next. And he said it himself. He's in a poetry slam right then and there. So choreography definitely matters. But even outside of poetry slams, you poets, listen up. You need to maximize choreography. Make the most of it. It's something I'm not really that good at personally, but I do my best to improve it, and for good reason. It can make or break your poem, all right? Anyway, I hope y'all enjoyed this. I certainly did. Definitely subscribe for more. I plan to look at more from Prentice Powell in the future, so please send his stuff my way. Let me know, what else should I react to from him, all right? I'd be happy to check it out. With all that being said, deuces.